Hey folks, welcome to Song Tripping. I'm Jim. I wanted to take this opportunity to make a new video about more records I'm getting rid of. The shelves are bursting at the seams and I'm trying to downsize, and I'm actually making a lot of good progress with that. In the meantime, I'm trying to make some room for some small additions of new vinyl, and I think I'm getting there. So I'm not going to do a super long video today, but I wanted to talk a little bit about this current batch that I'm ready to discard, and I'll talk about there is a method to my madness here. So we'll start here with this box set: Bruno Walter, Beethoven, the Nine Symphonies, Columbia Symphony Orchestra, on Odyssey Records. Odyssey was like the budget label of Columbia back in the day, and these are like repressed, and this I got for free. It was on the free front porch at Jupiter Records in Arden, Delaware, and the only problem with this really was one of the discs in the box set was missing, but I listened to all the other ones and I thought it sounded really nice. Especially given that it's a budget label. The pressings were clean. I don't think these records have been played very much, and close to near mint quality. And the original booklet is in here and everything. So it's a pleasant listen, but given the thickness of the box set, I just don't think I need to keep it around. And the fact that it's incomplete makes it another reason. I have the Bruno Walter complete box set on CD, so all these symphony versions are covered. But if you're looking around, you see this for cheap, I would pick it up, because the quality may surprise you on it. But I'm going to give this away. I might just return it to the free porch at Jupiter. Even without that one disc, it's a pretty nice value. So that one's going away. Now the other stuff is I've been going through oldies compilations. So I went through like a binge phase where I was collecting a lot of greatest hits, or just various artist hits collections, and I still do that from time to time, and I've amassed like about that much of stuff like that, but I don't need to keep all these around anymore. So, and yet I really do like compilations quite a bit, so I found a solution to this that works for me. I'm going to take records like this, and I'm going to, or I have been, ripping them. And the method I use for ripping vinyl, I've talked about this in a video a long while back, but I'll revisit it, is I use this portable device. This one happens to be a Tascam DR05. There are several models. I'm sure there's newer ones out there. This can run on batteries. It also has a USB port, and I have a nice little setup, and not with this stereo, but in the living room stereo, the Marantz. What I do is I plug this by USB into the USB port on the Oppo CD player. It has a little port on the front panel, so that powers this. And then I line out from, I think it's the tape out jack on the Marantz, and I run that into this jack, the mic external in, and then I set up my recording settings to record in 24-bit, and the really cool thing about this device is it can automatically record on the fly into MP3 format. So I do 320 kps MP3 files. There's just no conversion needed. It just does it for me. And then and then I turn on a limiter. There's a built-in limiter. There's a few effects like that, and this just kind of keeps everything like from peaking and pegging and you know what digital distortion sounds like. You don't want that. So it's basically plug and play. I plug this in, all the savings are saved by default, hit the record button. And what I do for an album like this is I record side one, and then I hit the play button, which also acts as a pause button, and then this recording light up here will just flash. It's in pause mode. I flip the side, I put side two down. I'm cleaning these records too as I go, and then just hit the record button and it picks up where it left off. So what it does is it creates a one file copy of the vinyl record. I don't split it into separate tracks. I don't bother with that. And then the destination for all this, I put it in Apple Music as a first step. I edit some meta information. I add album artwork, which I can grab from Discogs for the front cover. And I put, I copy the track listings from Discogs, paste that into the add lyrics section of Apple Music. So if I keep these in my Apple Music database, I'll be able to like see what the songs are, or I'll have the visual reference seen and cover. I can go look it up on Discogs. And then the final destination is YouTube Music. So I've uploaded over the years like a ton of stuff on YouTube Music, and then I simply drag and drop from Apple Music. I pick up that album cover, drop it into YouTube Music, it uploads it, it takes the album artwork and adds it to my upload library. And then I can dial that up, listen to this like high resolution MP3 file. And the reason I do it with MP3 is I'm pretty sure that's all that YouTube Music allows for. Otherwise I would save it in a you know, an uncompressed format. But the 320 is fine. And then I can just listen to these anytime I want. And then I can get rid of the vinyl. So with that as a long prelude, let's take a look at what's on Original Oldies Volume 22. This is on the Springboard International Records label. So they made just a ton of these. I don't know how many they are. At least 22 of them. I'm sure there's more. And you've got like a nice set of 60s music here. Let me just make a couple quick comments. It Ain't Me Babe, The Turtles, Summer Song, Chad and Jeremy, Hats Off to Larry, Just a Dream, Stagger Lee by Lloyd Price, Happy Together. So the Turtles are represented twice here. I have to comment on Surfin' Safari by the Beach Boys just in a second. New York's a Lonely Town, Trade Winds, and Lottie Miss Claudie by Lloyd Price. So a couple Lloyd Price tunes, a couple of Turtles tunes, and Del Shannon's on there, Chad and Jeremy. It's a nice compilation. But the Beach Boys Surfin' Safari is totally the worst version of Surfin' Safari I've ever heard on any record. It sounds to me like they had a mic in a hallway and they stuck it into a room where the album was playing, and that's what you're getting, like, and you hear like the reverb in the room and stuff. It's like really, really bad. Really, this sounds like a 10th generation copy of that song. So not a good look there for that Beach Boys song, but it's fun. I've got it ripped. I added it to YouTube Music. I can listen to it from my personal library, and now I can give this away. Next up is the Headliner 64. This is in Stereo 360 sound, Columbia, and this was has been pressed exclusively for club members, for the Columbia Record Club. And this is a very odd and interesting compilation. So look at this mix of artists. You've got Andy Williams, Ray Conniff, Smothers Brothers, Barbra Streisand, New Christy Minstrels, Fats Domino, Jerry Vale, Andre Kostelanetz, The Ventures, Johnny Cash, Bobby Vinton, and Thelonious Monk. All these are from the Columbia stable, right? But you're talking about variety. Wow. Let me see if there are any standouts on here. I will say Johnny Cash, I Want to Go Home, which is essentially Sloop John B. He just nails that vocal on that. If you've never heard Johnny Cash sing that, dial that up and stream it. Of course, Thelonious Monkey can't go wrong. The track here is Teo, and the rest of it was, kind of forgettable. Fats Domino, Walking to New Orleans was a nice one. But anyway, it's a really just interesting. The cover is intriguing too, isn't it? The headliner 64. It's been ripped, uploaded, and I'm ready to part ways with it. This one has a really awful looking album cover, 32 original hits on Sessions Records. I think these used to be sold by TV ads, like the K-Tels. Do you remember Sessions? This is actually a double album. And let's take a look at the track list. This actually, I was surprised, as bad as this looks, just, you can't always tell a book by its cover, you can't always tell a record by its cover. The actual albums, once I clean them up, really not that bad at all. I was shocked. It sounds a lot better than it looks. Anyway, the songs are really good too. So you get Bobby Day, Rockin' Robin, Dion and the Belmonts, A Teenager in Love, Everly Brothers, Wake Up Little Susie, Chordette's Lollipop, Donnie Brooks, Mission Bell, Jackie Wilson, Lonely Teardrops, Connie Francis, Lipstick on Your Collar, Crescendo's Oh Julie, that's side A. Side B, Teen Angel by Mark Dinning, Sea of Love by Phil Phillips, Dan Lear's One Summer Night, Chuck Berry, Rock and Roll Music, Bobby Freeman, Do You Want to Dance, Dodie Stevens, Pink Shoelaces, Buddy Knox, Party Doll, Jimmy Rogers, Kisses Sweeter Than Wine. Then you go to record 2, and you can see Peggy Sue by Buddy Holly, McGuire Sisters, Sugar Time, Dell Vikings, Come Go With Me, Elegance, Little Star, Pat Boone, A Wonderful Time Up There, that was a really odd one. It sounds like Pat Boone's trying to sound like Elvis Presley, but it's like sort of like almost like a Christian themed rockabilly thing. Weird. Ponytails, Born Too Late, Kalen Twins, When, Richie Valens, La Bamba, a classic. Lloyd Price again, Personality, Robin Luke, Susie Darlin, Randy and the Rainbows, Denise, Jarmel's A Little Bit of Soap, Kathy Young, 1,000 Stars, Patty Page, Allegheny Moon, interesting song, Bobby Rydell, We Got Love, and Fats Domino, Whole Lot of Lovin'. So I was glad to rip this one. I think I will listen to this from time to time because it's just a really nice mix of songs. And the rip came out really nicely. Next up is a Dunhill Records compilation called The Original Hits of Right Now, plus some heavies from the motion picture Easy Rider. Looks like I paid $1.98 for this one, probably at a thrift store or used record store. Here's the back cover. So you get, these are Dunhill artists, couple songs by the Grassroots, couple songs by Three Dog Night. One is of course, the standout. I want to make a comment about Smith. So Smith is a band I didn't know much about, but they do Baby It's You, which is a cover, and Beatles covered that one too. And then they do a really nice cover of The Weight, the band song. And I think that was that used on the Easy Rider soundtrack or something? I'm not sure. But anyway, a very nice rendition of that. So Smith is a band you might want to check out. I think they only put out 1 or 2 albums. And then the lead singer, I think she did some solo work after that. But I was impressed by them. Mama Cass, 2 songs by her. And the Robs, I Wasn't Born to Follow. And then 2 Steppenwolf songs. And also Odetta with the Ballad of Easy Rider. So this is just, exposing you to some Dunhill artists. Nice, late 60s vibe going on here. It's been ripped, added to YouTube Music, and we can say goodbye to it. And then I like these radio station compilations. Like here in Philly, our top 40 radio station on the AM dial was WFIL. This one's called Killer Gold. They put out a ton of these compilations. This one's from the 70s. And let's see what's on this one. Casey and the Sunshine Band, Jefferson Starship with Miracles, Silver Convention, Henry Gross with Shannon. That's a pretty song. Four Seasons, Who Loves You, Melissa Manchester, Kiss, Rock and Roll All Night, Gwen McCrae, Rockin' Chair. And then you go to side 2, you get Disco Duck, part 1, Mandy, Love to Love You Baby by Donna Summer, Magic by Pilot, which was one of my very favorite early singles when I first started getting into pop music. The Way We Were, Try to Remember by Gladys Knight and the Pips. And Doctor's Orders by Carol Douglas, More, Part 1 by Andrea True Connection, and SOS by ABBA. Nice way to close it out. So if you're into that sort of mid-late 70s type of music, this one's nice. Really sort of dig the painting on here. These, I believe, are all DJs from WFIL. You would have known who they were back in the day. Here's another oldies compilation, Original Golden Hits. Now we're going to the Mercury label. Original Golden Hit series. This is Volume 1, Original Golden Teen Hits. So what do we get here? Gary U.S. Bonds, Thomas Wayne, Tragedy, that's a good song. The Shirelles with their classic, Will You Love Me Tomorrow? Angel Baby by Rosie and the Originals. The Sensations, Carla Thomas. Sammy Turner, The Hollywood Argyles with Al Youp. Maurice and the Charms, Johnny and Joe. Dickie Doo and the Don'ts with Click Clack. And Paul Peak, Oldsmo Williams. So yeah, definitely like songs for young people who were young back in like the early 60s, late 50s. A lot of fun, just a lot of fun. Mercury albums tend to sound pretty good too. So that one's been ripped. And my last one to share today is, this one is from Elektra Records. And it's Folk Song 65. And here are your artists. Some of these are deep tracks for me. And these were all artists on the Elektra labels, on the Elektra label. So what do we have here? We've got Long John by Tom Rush, So Early in the Spring by Judy Collins, Line and Track by Carner, Ray, and Glover, Girl of the North Country, covered by Hamilton Camp. 900 Miles by Dick Rossamini. The Last Thing on My Mind by Tom Paxton. Side 2, you get Paul Butterfield Blues Band with Born in Chicago. That's like definitely like sounds different than all the other stuff on the album. More of an urban blues. And Fair Beauty Bright by Kathy and Carol. White Winged Dove by Mark Spolestra. Blues on the Ceiling by Fred Neil. Rompin' Rovin' Days by Bruce Murdoch, and Power and the Glory by Phil Oakes. So it's a nice, these albums are time capsules. That's why I like them. So they sort of take you back to another era. This is when folk music was really big, and it was also changing. I will say that the liner notes on the back of this are pretty ridiculous. Like I had to. They gave me a laugh just reading them, but they're fun. They're fun to read. Anyway, that's a set of albums, with the exception of the Bruno Walter box, which I did not rip. All these other ones have been ripped, and they're ready to say bye-bye to this house and go on and find other homes to live in. That's it for this time. Enjoy. Let me know if you've ever heard these albums before, which compilations you like. And I hope to see you again real soon.